Hi everybody, all my followers, be welcome to another video. Right, the video today is on a BMW, on a 2007 BMW 325i. Engine doesn't really matter. Chassis on this, I believe is the chassis is the E92, I think it is. And this is the Cabrio, so is the hardtop roof, and that's exactly what the problem that the car came with, is with the roof. Now, I was asked to look at this car a few months ago, around January. We are now May, well, beginning of May actually. Today is the last of April 2020. As I said, I was asked to look at this car about 4 months ago. At the time the weather was not very good. Don't take me wrong, we had a very few days, a few weeks, until about 3 days ago when the car was dropped, and now the weather is a little bit, it kind of changed. But today's doesn't look too bad, so we might be able to do some work on this. And yeah, so the problem is with the roof. Now, what the car does is, actually I will start the car. I haven't started the car today. Let me start the car. Okay, so the issue, let me see if I show you. First of all, we have that. So we have a flashing light in there. The roof obviously doesn't work. We had that in there straight away as soon as you start the car. And very shortly should come up over there as well. It usually does. Well, I only started the car once since it was dropped here. There we go. So that's the issue with the car. The hardtop doesn't work at all, nothing happens. And I think before we do any assumptions, I think the best way to start something like this is scan the car, see what we have in the ECU, and move from there. Okay, and here we are. I do apologize for the glare once again. It doesn't matter which way, I always suffer from this problem. Okay, so let's gonna read the codes, see what we have. And we do have hall sensor for luggage compartment partition. So I haven't even opened the car, so let's gonna go to the boot and check this out. Okay, and surprise surprise, the boot does not open, which makes sense because the module doesn't know where the roof is, I guess, and it does not allow me to open the boot. So to open the boot, it must be a way. Let me look for it. I'm sure I can trigger the boot to open with this scan tool. Let's see if I open that. There's no switch. There's no switch in there for the boot. The handle doesn't work, as I've showed you. So we're gonna have to open that boot somehow so we can check that sensor. Okay, it must be one of these, I think. There we go, and the boot is open. Just gonna try this again. Ugh. Okay, so it's gonna be a switch here somewhere that is failing and is not telling the ECU that is in the right place. Where are they gonna be? It's gonna be switched there somewhere, I think. Okay, let's gonna investigate this a little bit, because even I don't know how this works, where these switches are, where these hall sensors are, etc, etc. So let's kind of look for them, and then I'll take you through when I find something. Okay, and obviously this is the luggage compartment. I believe that's what they were talking about. Now, these lead, there's no wires at all coming up here, nothing whatsoever. But there is one thing that caught my eye, which is plastic, metal. So my Hall sensor would have to be on this side, and indeed it is. So I can see the wire here. If you can see, there's a wire here, runs through there to this. So it's going to be a Hall sensor here that's going to trigger when this hits in there. So that's where it's going to be. So we're going to take these off and have a look at it. Okay, and before we get there, let's going to go to my live data, see if I can find that Hall sensor in there. Sensors and switch. Hall sensor for no, it's not that. There we go. That's the one I need. Not closed. So let's gonna see what happens when I hold on a second. Okay, let's just close this, just confirm that it's not working. Oh, we know already, but let's close this lid then. And as we can see, it's still saying not closed. Okay, let's gonna remove this lock and go from there. And there is definitely signs someone has been here trying really hard, because there is clips missing, there is a lot of stuff. Even though it's a old car, so obviously we might have had some work at some time, but at some point, there is my sensor. Look at that. There is my sensor. As I said, it's going to be a Hall sensor here somewhere. Oh, there it is. So let's kind of pull these away. These, how does it come off? There we go. Just gonna have to pull it away somehow. This is definitely not the right tool for the job. There it is. So that's my Hall sensor. Let's pull it out. Okay, so do we have a bad sensor? Or do we have a bad wire? That's the problem now. We're gonna have to measure these wires from here all the way to the ECU. It's definitely not working. It's definitely not working. So we're gonna have to find out if we have a wire problem or a sensor problem. So the first thing I'm gonna do is locate the module, and we're gonna figured out where these plugs, etc, etc. I don't know where the module, I think maybe here on this side. It's gonna investigate that. Okay, and it's gonna be really easy for me to figure out if my problem is the sensor or the wiring, without even having to get to the module, which I believe is on that side underneath there. But I don't need to get that far, because this sensor does have a plug right there. So let me show you what we're gonna do. And welcome to England, and we're gonna have to wait a little bit. Bloody hell. What a crappy weather. Okay, and it stopped raining for now. I'm not really sure where I was, but I'm gonna carry on. I think is where I was. I'm just gonna do a few checks here. So my multimeter is here. Now my sensor, I removed the sensor completely. Okay, but the first thing I want to check is if I have voltage supply to the sensor. So I should have watched the clip to see exactly what I was. Anyway, let's gonna do it. So the two wires here, that is, I have these two wires on my plug at the moment. This one here and this one here. One of these wires should have 12 volts, which is my voltage supply or voltage to the sensor. So I'm checking the first wire, not sure which pin is this, but, and I have nothing. Now let's gonna check the next wire. and I have nothing. That 12.4, that's millivolts, in case if it doesn't come up on the camera. That's millivolts, so I have nothing. So I have no voltage supply to the sensors. Do I have a wire problem from this sensor to the module? How I'm gonna do this? Hold on, I know, I just had an idea. Hold on a second. I wanted to look at the live data again for the whole sensor compartment, blah 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 blah. So that one in there, and I'll show you what I'm doing. Boom! Look at that. Nothing wrong with my sensor. Okay. Now what I've done, guys, is the following. I'm taking 12 volts from the power supply to the whole sensors of this RAM here. I'm feeding 12 volts straight into my sensor, and then I'm feeding the signal back to the module through the plug. And obviously then when I put some metal in front of my sensor, as you're gonna see on the scanner, so this proves one thing straight away: there's nothing wrong with my sensor. So my problem is going to be a wiring, a power supply issue from this plug here, somewhere from here all the way to the module. So we're going to have to strip a little bit more around here somehow. Ideally I would open the module, the roof. I'll trick the roof to think everything is good, and I would I'm really sure how we're gonna do this. Okay, let me figure out how I'm gonna trace this. It's a little bit weird that these wires faulted, because as far as I'm aware, there's nothing that moves from here in this loom all the way back. I think it's all, so I'm a little bit confused, but well, it's what it is. I'm making some progress. We established a few good things. The sensor is good, so I can put everything back on here, or maybe not, just for testing, but let's gonna find where my wire problem is. Problem found, guys. Problem found. Gonna be a pain in the ass to resolve it where it is, but problem found. So I took this liner here, and the first thing I've noticed was that this cable tray is not in place. There is a kind of a little tab that's supposed to go under a metal sort of opening at the front that was supposed to hold this in place, and this is not in place. So what's been happening is when this roof opens and closes, something has been catching in there. Can you see in there? Straight after my finger, right there. You see all those wires trashed in there? So that's what happened. And I'm sure there is other faults with this. There is some faults for rear lights, so it wouldn't surprise me if it's one of those wires as well. But yeah, that's where the problem is. Now the problem is how I'm gonna get to that, because it's an absolutely nightmare. There is really no room to get there. So how I'm gonna do this? Shall I? Now the weather is crap. I can't force the roof to open to give me access to that. Look at that. This is not in place. Look. Why? That just didn't came out like that. Someone took this out at some point and never put it back in place. I need a screwdriver to open this. Right. Anyway, we found the issue. I'll show you when I'm a little bit closer to that. But we're gonna have to repair those wires, really. There's no other way, obviously. So let's gonna figure out how to do this if the weather actually changed, because at the moment it's absolutely terrible. It's raining. Oh shit. Damn it. Guys, the weather absolutely sucks. Seriously. Right, anyway. So, oh dear. So what I've done so far is I've removed this panel here. It's no rocket science. You just open this, the back seat, Open that down, then you have this here, which has these little rings here. So you just literally, they're like that. You literally just force them out, slide them out. Then all this back shelf is with just clips. You just bang, 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 take everything off. The module for the roof is that module in there, as you can see in there. Now, for some odd reason, the loom on that side comes through there, goes all the way under the seats, and then comes up in there. Don't know why they just didn't drop it here along this, and up will be way easier, but wait, that's what they did. Anyway, what I'm going to try to do now is I'm going to remove this thing out. I'm going to try, actually I don't need to. I don't even know what this is, but it doesn't really matter. We just unplug this. So what I've done now, guys, is the loom that is damaged. I'll take these off here. Okay, we'll put this somewhere down here to give us a little bit of. Am I gonna pull these out? So what I've done so far is, guys, this loom in the boot, everything's unplugged. So you have plugs that goes to the diversity antenna. You have a ground that you need to take from the side. It's not rocket science, guys. The plug for the rear light needs to come out, so it's all on the same bunch of wires here. Okay, so now I'm gonna try to pull it back, pull it this way until I expose the damaged section, so I can repair the damaged section here, and then we'll push it back inside, and that should do the job. It is bad, guys. It is really bad. It's raining badly. I don't even know how I'm gonna bring the tools here to solder the wires, etc, etc, but I'm sure we'll find a way, I guess. Right, let's gonna pull that and carry on from there. Okay, so that's pulled out. So this is the module that controls the rollover. I think that pushes this to, that fires those two things in case if the car rolls over with the rooftop open. So that's what controls it over there, these firing things. Anyway, key is off anyway, we'll clear any codes later. So here is the damage section. As you can see, there's actually quite a lot of wires damaged. So yeah, we're going to repair everything and go from there. So I'm gonna get the soldering iron, get the flux, the solder, get a little bit of shrink tubing, and get these repaired. Okay, all repaired. All the wires done, the damaged one. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wires, I think, damaged. Yeah, 7. These ones here are now been touched. They are good. They are not, even the insulation is not ripped or anything like that. So all I'm going to do now is wrap these again and wrap it a little bit better, and then just pull it again on the other side and make sure we route the cables, the wire, the loom correctly this time, so we don't do the mistake that someone else did. It is all done. Cloth tape again. So I'm gonna really, guys, take this opportunity that kind of stopped the rain. It's not raining at the moment, so it stopped raining, and I'm gonna very quickly pull these cables on the other side, route everything, try to put everything back on as much as I can, because obviously I need to take this opportunity, really. So hopefully we'll finish this video today. There we go. Oh, damn it, I'm gonna have to clean this. There we go. So we're gonna pull the loom again. There we go. That's why I had to take off, as you can see, all this loom here. Now we're gonna pull it again this way. There we go. Now we're gonna put in this tray, put everything back on, and hopefully this will fix my problem. Okay, I kind of put everything kind of in place. Put a new sensor. Put this here where the whole sensor is. Just curiosity, I found these trims are missing on this side. I actually found them underneath here, underneath this cover. So obviously, I don't know why these were stripped on this side, but whatever. But all I want to do now is close this and get on the scanner and see how it behaves. See if he's seeing the shelf closed now. Another thing, the boot now opens okay from here. So that's fixed. Okay, so sorry about the mess. I had to move all the stuff to here to work on the boot. The weather for now is it's still rainy, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to fully open and fully close the roof. Nevertheless, let's gonna have the Maxi C's booting at the moment. Okay, so let me turn ignition on. Okay, the first thing I can see is that is not flashing anymore, which is a good sign. It's a really good sign. So let's quick go for it. Let's see if we can clear the codes and what it shows me now. It is definitely not throwing any codes now, so I have the ignition here now on for some time while it's obviously scanning the car, looking for the loading the details. So let's kind of go quick in there. That's body. It's not that one. That one in there. Read codes. I should have more codes because I unplugged. Yeah, yes, there we go. So I have the other ones for the rear module opened hole sensor. That's the one where I was taking the signal from, because I unplugged that same point, so that triggered the code. But as you can see, that one now, code is absent. Another thing that I've noticed is the light failure is not here anymore as well. So it looks like that also fixed it. So let's clear this. Quick look at my live data. There we go. So I've closed it and it's closed. It shows closed. So I can guarantee you, let me start the engine. I don't think I need to go the full cycle opening the roof. I think I can just trigger to open a little bit and then close it again, because obviously it's still raining and obviously I can't fully open the roof, but at least if it does something, we know it's working. So let me start the engine. Okay, it's running. No lights flashing. Let me just see what happens now. I still have to put all that. Okay. Oh, whoa, no. Okay, it is working. It is working. Close the windows. Close the windows. Yeah, it is working, guys. Don't know if you've seen it. It is working. So obviously, when you open, the first thing it does is open the 4 windows, and then obviously it starts the cycle to open. It is working. So I definitely want to try a full cycle, fully open, fully closed, before I deliver the car. Don't know if that's going to be today. I will try to do it and show you. But for now it is working, so I'm really happy. And what I'm going to try to do while it's not heavily raining is finish to put that back on. With the clips I had available was a lot of clips and stuff missing. There still is some missing that I don't have them. They are just missing. I put everything together to the best as I could. Now it's not raining right now, just very well, literally little droplets. Let's gonna do a full cycle on this, see if it works. Be really nice if it does, because once I have a full cycle done, I will be happy that this is fixed. So let's start the car. Okay. There we go. Windows are open. There we go. Roof is opening. Fully open. No warning lights, no nothing. Now let's gonna close it. This is not very good. I have a fault in there. Okay, it's finally done again. I'm not gonna lie, I was nearly. There's a little bit of sun, but look at those black clouds at the back. Alright, so how did I close it? There is like something. There's no codes on the ECU. Nothing came up that I'm gonna show you. Oh dear, I've been running now because I thought if it starts raining, oh gosh. As you can see, there is no codes on the ECU. Reset the ECU. I thought, okay, maybe the windows are now learned, the automatic windows. Reset the points on that. It's still not working. So I went to the roof. I manually lifted one side. So as you've seen, well, okay, so if you've seen the boot lid, he opened, and then the rest of the roof wouldn't close. So I went to the rest of the roof that was folded inside, under the boot, inside the boot at the top. And I've opened and closed it again. Did that a couple of times on each side. Came here, pressed the button, and it closed. So it's going to be some switch in there that is not actuating when it should be. I can only guess that. So yeah, that's what I think. But wow, this was a little bit scary. Definitely scary, because I can guarantee you in no time it's going to start to rain again. Oh dear. So we are there, but not there quite. So I'm gonna have to figure out what's the next thing to look at, why that was happening. Gonna have to find out why he's failing there. And for the even more is why he's not triggering any codes. Why was not triggering any codes? Okay. Alright, don't know if I'm gonna attempt to open it again. I think I'm not gonna risk it. It's too risky. Too risky. Definitely too risky. Okay, I think I got it fixed. So one of the things that came to my head was that if the roof was now working, for how long was now working? So for how long this roof never actually opened? So with that in mind, I waited for the weather to get a little bit better. So I'm going to take you through a full cycle of opening and closing. And as he opens and closes, I'm going to try to see if I can show you. If not, take my word for it, because the can is still in there. So as you can imagine, I've greased everything. I put different grease first. I put some sort of oil to get actually into the hinges, etc. And then I put this one on the top. That obviously leaves a layer there that kind of carry on lubricating, if that makes sense. So let me take you through a full cycle now. And you're gonna see the white grease maybe on some of the hinges as it opens. Let me see if I can actually show you if it comes on some. Actually it doesn't, or maybe look at there, you see the white stuff. So that's it, fully opened as you can see. Now let's gonna close it. There it comes. Okay, I've done this about 5 times in total. I don't want to do it for too long or too many times, because otherwise it might come up with motors overheat, which I had in the past, although I never recorded. I had an issue where that was the problem. Anyway, I'm deviating now. As you've seen, roof is working, opening and closing. In the end, looked like with just a little bit of lubrication. So when the roof opened that first time, maybe didn't fully open to actually trigger all the sensors. So I'll lubricate absolutely everything I could see. everything has been lubricated. All the hinges, all the pins where it goes in the pins, I put this white grease. So lubricate everything. As I said, I've opened and closed the roof about 5 times now. This is probably the 6th time now, and it worked every single time. So I'm happy with the result. I would say we have a fix, and that's gonna be it for this video. Let's gonna wrap up this. With no further ado, guys, hope there's some information on this video that you're gonna find useful. Hope you enjoyed the video. It was a little bit scary at some point. If you have any questions, any comments, please put them below. And like always, thanks for watching.